Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of Ask Me Anything on the Untethering Shame podcast. I'm Kira, and every Monday we create space for the kinds of questions we all carry, but don't always know how to ask. The ones that live in the tension between love and boundaries, fear and truth, responsibility and self-respect. Now, before we dive in today, I just want to say how much I continue to appreciate the way this community is showing up with vulnerability, honesty, and a willingness to ask the hard questions. Today's submission comes from Chris, and it's a powerful one. He writes, "My wife and my mom have very different ideas about how we should be raising our child and the expectations of what role my mom's to play in our lives and the events we're supposed to be a part of. As I'm starting my own family, I want to establish roots with my wife and child in a way that respects my mom, but doesn't make everything feel like a fight or trigger guilt. I struggle because I don't want to hurt my mom's feelings, and she's always used guilt to get her way. But my wife and I are exhausted, and she needs me to set better boundaries. How do I start this conversation without my mom feeling hurt or attacked?" Chris, thank you. Your question reflects the complex emotional terrain so many people navigate when forming new family systems while staying connected to the old ones. And I know a lot of people are going to see themselves in your words. So let's talk about it. At its core, your question is this: how do I honor and maintain a relationship with my mom while protecting and prioritizing the family I'm building without being consumed by guilt or triggering conflict? That is not a simple ask. You're balancing love, loyalty, identity, and long-standing relational patterns, and trying to do so in a way that feels respectful and true to your current values. And the fact that you're even asking this, not just how to enforce boundaries, but how to do so with care and emotional integrity, speaks volumes about the kind of parent, partner, and son you want to be. So let's start here. Everyone in this situation has a valid emotional experience. Your wife is understandably exhausted. She's trying to create a safe, stable foundation for your new family and is probably feeling undermined, judged, or pressured in ways that makes that harder. Your mom is likely feeling displaced and unsure of her role, especially if she's used to being more involved or in control. And instead of communicating that directly, she's relying on guilt, not out of malice, but likely because it's what she knows. It's how she's learned to get her needs met. And then there's you, stuck in the middle, trying to navigate everyone's expectations without feeling like you're betraying someone you love. That's a lot to carry, and none of it's easy. Chris, one of the things you mentioned is really important to call back on. This is how she's always been. That tells me this guilt dynamic with your mom isn't new. You've likely been trained, whether explicitly or implicitly, to prioritize your mom's emotional comfort over your own needs for a long time. Maybe even to manage her reactions or prevent her from feeling upset, because her distress has historically led to conflict, disconnection, or shame. So it makes sense that now, in trying to step into your own role as a husband and father, there's tension. Because for the first time, you're trying to lead from your own values, not just the patterns you were handed. Now, that's incredibly brave, and it's really hard. Because part of you is likely still holding the belief, if I say no, I'm a bad son. But here's the truth. Setting boundaries doesn't make you a bad son. It makes you a responsible adult. So let's talk about how to actually do this. The first step is radical acceptance. That means acknowledging your mom may feel hurt or disappointed. You can't control her feelings, only your intentions. And guilt's going to show up. That doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing. The goal here isn't to avoid discomfort. It's to make decisions that align with your values, even when they're hard. And in this case, it sounds like your values are things like protecting your marriage and family unit, respecting your mother without enabling harmful dynamics, and leading with compassion, not control. Hold on to those. Let them guide the conversation, not your fear. Now, when it comes to this actual conversation with your mom, here's a framework that you can try that might help. Start with your why. Mom, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my heart. As we've been growing our family, I've been thinking a lot about how to be the kind of partner and dad I want to be and how to do that while still having a healthy, loving relationship with you. Second, name the pattern without accusation. Sometimes when we make decisions that are different from what you hoped for, it seems like guilt comes into the picture. I know that's not always intentional, but it makes it hard for us to feel like we can have open, respectful conversations with you. Third, set the boundary with intention. Our family, me, and then you can name your wife or your child, need a bit more space right now to figure out what works best for us. That doesn't mean we don't value your input or love you. It just means we're trying to lead from a place that's true to who we are and who we're becoming. And then finally, acknowledge what might come up. I know this might be hard to hear, and I get that. I want you to know this isn't about shutting you out. It's about creating something strong and grounded within our family so we can feel strong and grounded in our connection with you. Now, again, if we come back to radical acceptance, there's a high likelihood you're still going to face pushback, but you'll have spoken from truth, not shame, and that matters. This was never about hurting or harming your mom. This was about taking care of you and the family and the values that you hold. So as we wrap, let's come back to a few key takeaways for all of us. First, Chris, you're allowed to love your mom and set boundaries with her. Second, her guilt doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It means the system is shifting. Third, your responsibility is to lead from your values, not manage everyone else's feelings. Fourth, boundaries don't equal rejection. They're a form of clarity and care. And finally, let your love for your family guide you, not your fear of conflict. Chris, again, I just want to thank you for this question. Your honesty, your heart, and your willingness to step into this discomfort of growth is really powerful. And to everyone listening, if this brings up something in your own family dynamics, I hope this reminds you it's okay to evolve. It's okay to do things differently than they were done before. And it's okay to be the one who starts a new pattern, even if it's messy at first. You can submit your own question for the show anonymously or with your name using the link in the show notes below. And I hope to hear from any and all of you with the questions that are underneath the surface that you are ready to bring out and talk about in the world. Until next time, hold your truth with care, lead from your values, and remember, love and boundaries are not opposites. They're companions. We'll talk again soon.